So for me, things is it's always one day at a time, right? And just having the faith, and also is trusting the process. See, because sometimes we don't know how to trust the process, right? And trusting the process is being humble, right? And being assertive to what he has in store for you, right? And sometimes,
can you run that back? You said assertive to what?
Being assertive and being and humble and being ready to receive whatever it is he has in store for us, right? Because sometimes we could self-sabotage.
We can.
And we get the future tripping and self-tripping and all this stuff. And then we count our blessings out, right? Or we sometimes want to run on self-will. Like, I'm going to do this myself. I got this. And I can... Yes, I can handle that, and you're not operating from the spiritual connection, right?
Hey, what it do, man? It be that man 3D Dev. How are y'all doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. And we tuning into another random conversation. Yo, Jay, talk to the people, man.
Hey, you know what? We got a special guest on here today. You know what? For any of our previous guests, I ain't add this to it, but you know what? I'm gonna let Dev do the official rollout. Just want to co-sign it. You feel me? We got a special guest on here today.
And you know what? This is random, so we're gonna do a little switcher. He said, "I'm gonna do the rollout." No, you're gonna do the rollout, bro. Random. I feel like you're gonna do it more better than me. So, hey, yo, shout out! Come on, do a little special rollout, because this ain't no regular person we got up here, man. We can't have no regular rollout, man. Come on,
yo,
man.
Check this out, y'all. We got a special guest in here today. Not only is he high fashion, he's put several models into the industry, worked with new models, celebrity models, overseas, international celebrities, you name it. We got the one, the only Mario B.
Hey, you guys.
Thank you for coming, Mario.
No, thank you guys for having me come in today and
we happy
be
to
a
have
part
you.
of this moment.
How you feeling, Mario?
I'm feeling great. Just busy working.
Okay.
You know, keeping myself busy through this pandemic and still being creative. You know, keeping the fashion lit. Yeah.
Okay, random. Do you feel like you're a creative person?
I definitely feel that I'm a creative, talented, and gifted person. Not just creative, but also gifted.
Ooh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start it off. Random, Mario. If you could be any animal, what animal would you be, and what's the reason why?
Well, what would be the type of animal that I would like to be? I never thought of that one, but I guess rambling off my head, I think I would like to be, if I could be an animal, which one would I be? I think I would like to be a tiger.
A tiger? Okay.
Right.
Why you say that?
Because I love the stripes that the tiger brings. I love the strongness that the tiger brings. I love the swiftness and the fastness that a tiger has. And I just likes the whole, almost like the Leo, the lion, just kind of being alone in your own world and having strength behind that. So I think I would say tiger.
So do you feel like you're alone in your own world?
I feel like I'm alone in my own world, kind of in my own lane. And as I say, in my own lane as a entrepreneur and as a black male in fashion, it's definitely a hard walk because fashion could be racist. It could have its moments, and I broke barriers for being an African American man and really pushing the envelope in fashion.
Yeah, round of applause for that, though.
Yeah.
And go ahead, bro.
Yep, I had one. So random, Mario. Not too many people know that you also rock the runway. So this one was for me. I helped Mario with a fashion show. I got the honor of picking the models, which was pretty cool. Thank you for that opportunity, Mario. But when Mario was working with the models and he coached them, right? He showed them how he wanted them to walk down the runway, right? And I'm thinking before he goes up, I'm like, okay, he gonna give him an idea, like it just no. Mario killed that shit, and I'm like, damn, like not to say you're not a model, but we working with lady models, and he boom, hit it, boom, and I'm like, damn, like he killing them. I'm like, yo, like so Mario, what got you into fashion and modeling in the first place?
Well, as a kid, I always had this eye for fashion, You know, in the first grade, second grade, I was always drawing fashion and art, and just, you know, I was a talented kid that just loved the creative arts, music, fashion, and you know, I would be in school and I'm supposed to be doing my math and I'm drawing fashion. I was sketching designs and loved the fashion magazines, and I just felt different all the time. Like I didn't want to learn the math and the algebras and all this stuff. I was always in my creative zone. You know what I mean? So I just knew it was something different and unique about me, even then as a child, that I was different as far as just having a real creative side. And back then, you know, they didn't have schools and stuff for kids that were creative. You know what I mean? It was just about the math, the English, and that kind of stuff. Then. So your genes was always working, and your creative side was just flowing. And I was always, you know, didn't like school. You know, I always wanted to draw and be at the creative arts after school. I would run and do dance. Dancing also was my first love. And I would take jazz dance, modern dance. You know, I was always into that creative side.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I heard when you were talking about the fashion. So like you're saying, for the black man, it's hard for us to get into fashion, especially running a show and all that, like directing and doing stuff you're doing. So what made you have that self-confidence as a black man? You'd be like, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm successful. And no matter what, I'm going to keep going.
Right. Well, one of the drives for me as a kid, I'll go back a little bit. My father took me to the Ebony Fashion Fair. And in the Ebony Fashion Fair was my first time ever seeing black models, black fashion, black producers. And I seen that this show really exists, and it really helped and inspired me that it was a place for us, right? And so I wanted to go model, and I went to Barbizon. And back then, the Barbizon modeling school was real expensive. And, you know, still today, people always said, you know, they want too much for classes, and I went there as a kid. And of course, my parents couldn't afford that, but I always had the passion for just modeling and, you know, wanting to teach modeling. So I was self-taught. You know, we would look at the magazines, some of the shows, and I just learned how to walk, and I just had this passion for it. So that was part of it. Okay.
So random, do you feel like you can spot someone and instantly know if they can make it in the modeling industry? Do you feel like you have that eye?
Well, I think I have the eye to be able to recognize the potential of someone that has that particular gifts. You know, like everybody has a gift more than one. Some people are just naturally tall, look like models, and kind of have that. You know, even some basketball players, you know, people have certain looks. So I'm able to spot that look. And for me, as a stylist, I look at everybody as a blank canvas.
Okay.
Right, as a blank canvas, and then you kind of put them together. It's like drawing some art on the blank canvas.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so I can give you. This one was curious for me. So, for our male viewers out there who might be interested in modeling, but maybe they don't want to come off feminine, or they're kind of afraid of the nuances or things that we've heard about the fashion industry, but we don't really know because we've never been involved. Okay. What kind of advice could you give the straight male that's masculine in the world, you know, but they might have the look or they might have that gift? What would you say to that person?
Well, I would say, first of all, you may have the look, but it's also the confidence, right? And so the confidence and the character building is when the modeling really sits in. You know, for me, it's not just about how good you look, it's about the personal development as well as the personal transformation, right? And some people may look beautiful on the outside but don't feel as beautiful on the inside.
Right.
So that's when I come in and say, hey, how can we measure this out? How can we take this young man who has a great look, pull up your pants, let's put a nice suit on you, let's make that whole transformation and also help you make that development, right? Because sometimes in order to be it, you need to see it, right? So if you never seen yourself look like that,
you can't
or
even
you
imagine
never
it.
seen yourself dolled up or seen yourself like that, then once you see it, then you say, wow, this is the new me, right? And so it's also making that transformation and then helping them to be able to make that development as well.
Okay.
And you have to feel good about yourself.
That's what's up. I love that.
Yeah.
That's tight. Now, Random, what you got on your shirt right there, Mario?
Oh, this is just drip.
You got some. Ooh, got some drip.
This is the drip, right?
And y'all don't see the shoes. The shoes are dripping too. He matched it all the way. The jacket, the shoes, the glasses. We see you, Mario.
It ain't on accident.
It's in them, not on them too.
Right.
I know. I'm already knowing, Mario.
Right. So I'm the truth, right? So I guess I want to ask you a question.
Please do.
So how do you feel yourself in your business? Do you feel that are you afraid of success? Are you excited about success?
That's a good question. So with me, I'm excited about success because I'm really in love with the process, and I'm in love with, like, this ain't happening overnight. You feel me? So I've been wrote stuff in my notebooks and been working on these manifestations. So with me, I'm in love with success because I'm doing this intentionally. So I'm not gonna be surprised when the success comes. I'm ready for it. And I know responsibilities come with success. Right. So I've already been tested multiple ways. So once I know success is already on its way coming. So I'm ready for it. You feel me?
Man.
What about you, man?
So I love that right there, Dev. I can agree. For me, there might have been a point in my life where I was a little bit nervous or afraid of success, but I definitely, after the new year and my birthday, I've kind of told myself that I'm going to step more into my light, embrace, my natural gifts and my calling, and with that with embracing my internal greatness is going to come that external greatness. So for me, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and it was crazy. I was on my way over here, and sometimes business is up and down on the financial end. Sometimes business is booming. Business is always booming, you feel me? But if I'm being transparent, sometimes it's booming and sometimes it's not. And I'm like, damn, okay. So like I got my bills for February situated. I'm like, okay, usually when I pay my bills for the month, I like to get the next stack going for the month after that. And I'm like, ooh, I ain't got March ready. So I'm like, I'm starting to think about that as I'm walking to the car to shoot this podcast. I'm like, you know what? It's going to come. All I got to do is be me. And embrace it. I know the quality of person I am. I know my work ethic. I know my efforts. I got to stop living too much in the future and enjoy the present, because right now my bills are paid. February's good. We have an all-star guest coming together. I got 3D Dev right here. Like, everything, all my footsteps feel in alignment. So for me to say I feel in alignment and feel in alignment, to think the universe is going to throw me a curveball and just throw me in the trash doesn't add up. Right. So for me, I'm just choosing to embrace it and walk in it. So I'm definitely excited. Now, how about yourself, Mario? How are you? Because I know you've been greatness.
So for me, things is it's always one day at a time, right? And just having the faith, and also is trusting the process. See, because sometimes we don't know how to trust the process, right? And trusting the process is being humble. Right, and being assertive to what he has in store for you, right? And sometimes,
can you run that back? You said assertive to what?
Being assertive and being in humble and being ready to receive whatever it is he has in store for us, right? Because sometimes we could self-sabotage.
We can,
and we get the future tripping and self-tripping and all this stuff, and then we count our blessings out, right? Or we sometimes want to run on self-will. Like, I'm gonna do this myself. I got this, and I can. I can handle that, and you're not operating from the spiritual connection, right? And so that's sometimes when we can get in our own way. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing is always just letting him go, let go, and let God do what he's gonna do, and let him manifest the things that he's gonna manifest for me. You know what I mean? And yet I plant the seed, I put it out there, and then I just sit back and let him make it grow. You know what I'm saying? And let it just grow. And so far, he hasn't failed me yet. So it goes back to trusting the process. Yeah.
Yo, to our viewers, did you hear Mario right there? Y'all might need to rewind and really take that in, write down some notes, because what he just said right there was real truth. I felt it in my soul, because I can do that sometimes. You feel me? Because I have that line in me. So sometimes you be as a lion, you be like, oh, I can do it, self-will, self-will. But you're making it way harder. We're self-sabotaging. Where God want to just come in, we just sit back and allow it.
Exactly.
So to the viewers out there, they might be wondering, yo, Mario, how do I allow God? How do I get out of my way? Like, to the people out there, they might ask the question for you, like, how does somebody get out of their own way and just allow God to help them out?
Right. Well, I think you just gotta, and I think in everybody's life, we have to make real decisions, right? And we come to a place where we have to make real decisions, and we have to look at ourselves, and we have to look at, well, what have I been doing? Has this been working for me? right? But what else can I do? And you have to be able to surrender, right? And you have to be willing to say, you know what, I can't do this no more. Let me throw my hands up. Is there another way? Let me be willing to ask for help. Let me do whatever it is that I need to pray about it, and then allow whatever it is to just manifest. You understand? That's the only way that I can say it. And for me, it was a journey because I was into a lot of other things, and I was tired of living that life.
Yeah.
So I was able to break down and be ready for whatever it took for me to get to the next level.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? But I had to receive that and be willing to say, God, take me, do what you gonna do with me. It's your will and it ain't mine.
That's
Okay.
what's up.
Right.
One thing I've always admired about you, Mario, is even because I don't have an experience in the fashion industry. I haven't, I don't have that catalog, that resume. But when we were working together, he would always not just be open to my feedback, but you would ask for it. And it was crazy to me because I'm like, yo, Mario done did hella fashion, like worked with top models and celebrities. I'm like, but he asking little old me for some advice. And sometimes he would be like, hey, you know what? I hear you, but here's some details that you didn't know. And I'm like, okay, bet. And then sometimes he'd be like, you know what? I wasn't looking at it like that. And he would kind of pick my brain just to kind of see what was there. Regardless if he chose to use it or not use it, he was still open and asked for that information. It's always been very humbling to me. I appreciate that. But listening to you speak to that, I think, and I kind of want to ask you, random, do you feel like part of the reason that you are so great is because you've always asked for and accepted feedback along the way?
Well, I think, I understand life and I understand people, right? And I understand all walks of life. You know what I mean? Because I've been there. I've been homeless. I've been to prison. I've been here. I've been there. I did a lot of stuff from experience, right? And I've learned all different lives and that people are people. And you can still learn from somebody. You can learn from a child. You can learn from a bum on the streets. You can always learn from people, and you got to always stay open-minded, right? And because people are people, and your opinion counts to me, right? Because you might be able to tell me something that I haven't heard, right? You know how you could just be randomly going somewhere and you hear somebody over having a conversation, and then you pick up on some stuff and you say, wow, I never heard it like that before, right? So, you could always learn from people, and it doesn't matter how much you know, and what you know is being open for other ideas and other people's opinions.
That's what's up.
Right.
That's real talk. So don't my way and shit.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. Hey, I was gonna say, so before we started shooting, I was asking Mario about his background and everything, and I asked him how long he's been doing styling. How long you said you've been doing it for?
I've been doing it about 20 years consistent.
20 years consistently. And
Right.
one thing, that's beautiful. Round of applause about that. But
Thank you.
one thing I'm bringing it up to y'all is because one thing he talked about, though, he didn't just talk about success with me. He talked about that he was in a dark spot. You feel me? So how'd you get yourself out of that dark spot to get back to you on your path? You feel me? Back to your light.
Well, for me, I was, as they call it, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I went to a program, and I went through plenty of therapy, because therapy really works, right? And people, therapy has that stigma of, you don't want to go to a therapist, you crazy or whatever. But I know that therapy is good for the soul. So I spent a lot of time going to meetings, groups, therapy, Alcohol Anonymous, AA, NA, wherever, support groups. I went to a lot of groups on learning how to rebuild myself all over again, right? Because I was damaged goods, and I needed to clean my clock in order to put new stuff in. Sometimes people want to add new stuff on top of old stuff, right? So you got to clean your house, clean your clock, get rid of a lot of baggage, because sometimes we carry a lot of baggage, right? We carry a lot of junk, and sometimes we got to find a place where we could sort through all that stuff and get rid of it so we could put new stuff in there. That's what I had to do, was get naked about who I really am and what I was about, and get into the truth of who I was about, and how I wanted to make real changes in my life.
Did y'all hear him? He said, "Get naked with who I really am." Did you guys hear the details in that?
I had to.
So that resonated with me, because I'm for some of the ladies out here on IG, maybe y'all used to being naked, but for me, I'm not used to being naked. And that
Right.
feeling, when you feel naked, you feel exposed.
Right.
So you got to be naked with your truth and how you feel, and get that and feel exposed with those feelings for you to really get over them and get through them. Sometimes
Yeah,
I agree
yeah,
with that. I love
yeah.
that verbiage. Now, random. Do you offer any type of therapy or anything like that?
Well,
Mario?
I like I've been facilitating groups and stuff.
Can we talk? Can you tell people a little bit about that?
Well, for me, I'm one of those advocates for breaking the cycle for people that goes in and out of incarceration, and try to help them find a place to learn how to break that vicious cycle. From being incarcerated, being on drugs, being in toxic relationships, abusive relationships, stealing, selling dope, going back to the block, all those type of things that we face, especially in our culture as African American. I'm one of those people that like to sit down and let's have real conversations about this behavior stuff and figure out how we can break those vicious cycles. Right?
It's called Raw Talk, right?
Well, it's called Raw Talk, but we changed it to Real Talk.
Real Talk,
But
okay.
I've done Raw Talk for quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, peoples, I don't know if you guys know, I got a podcast, Secrets of the Winning Mindset, and a lot of people compliment me on the game that I'm putting out. You feel me? With that in mind, I have witnessed one time the Raw Talk, Real Talk with Mario, and let me fucking tell you, this man is a genius. Like, the game that he has when it comes to life and understanding how to do better and what got you in the place you're at, fire. Like, Mario, you're hella raw at that. Like, and that's coming from someone who's raw at it. Like, Dev done kicked me hella advice too, so don't get it twisted. You feel me? But let me, because sometimes people will be like, if you tell them, oh, you got to do this to improve your health, but then they hear a doctor say it, then they'll listen to it. So you feel me? My little doctorate in life coaching and experience, with this badge, I'm giving Mario got it. He got the game for sure.
Well, thank you.
So, random Mario, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is I like red, and I like brown, and I like black too. Yeah.
So I know you said you're creative fashionably. What's other ways you're creative?
Life skills, coaching, talent, music, dance.
Okay.
I'm also a really, really great dancer.
Okay. Hey.
Well, I've always been a great dancer, but I'm also a really phenomenal African dancer.
Oh.
So I'm a really great African dancer. Yeah, I love the drums and musicians also can sing right, a little bit.
Oh, you can sing too?
Yeah, I can sing a little.
Okay, shout out to Mario.
I also can sing a little bit too.
Hey, hey, I have a question about that African dancing. So when you do African dancing, how does it feel? I know it got to touch your spirit when you're doing that African dance.
Oh, it's so deep. It's more of a spiritual deep connection because you connecting with the drums, right? And you connecting with the drums. It's also a healing place. So me learning African dancing, I learned from a bunch of dancers from Senegal. So I learned it from the real uncut Africans. So it was really, really raw and uncut. It wasn't no secondhand or somebody that knew how to do it. It was straight from Senegal, Ghana, and I had some of the best teachers and some of the best internationals too, international teachers, celebrities too. So it was raw.
That's what's up. So random, we got a new addition here on the Random Show. I don't know if you guys have noticed. We got some right here. This is called the Random Bowl, and inside the Random Bowl, we've got a bunch of random questions. And Mario, as our esteemed guest today, I'd like to treat you to the honor of being the first guest to pick a question
Okay.
out of the Random Bowl.
Okay, good.
So go ahead and pick one
Okay.
and read it out for the people.
Hot or cold?
Random, hot or cold? Would you rather be hot? Would you rather be someone that's always hot or someone that's always cold?
Someone that's always hot.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, random. Next one on you, Dev.
All right,
Right.
Oh, you pull off on the ball? No, random. Oh, hold on. No, you can. Next question. You know what? Since the mess up, hold up. Can you pull out your phone, bro? I need you to check the time, man. Cause his wait. He got to get his phone, y'all. If you want to, you can just put it back in the bucket.
Okay.
He's getting his phone, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is, man. It's about to be that time. If they don't know, they about to find out, y'all.
I don't think Mario knows.
Mario don't know. It's about to be that Rambo random time. So this is a game where I'm about to ask you a lot of questions, right?
Okay.
And he's timing you, and then after that, we're gonna break you down, and let you know how you did on the game.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
Okay.
Go.
Can you run?
Fast.
You know how to moonwalk?
Yes.
You love Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Can Tina Turner sing good?
Very well.
Can James Brown moonwalk?
Yes.
Who is Mario?
Mario B Productions.
Have you been to New York before?
Yes, I have.
Have you flown to Africa?
No, not yet.
Is Wakanda in Africa?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Because it was just a movie.
do you love Black Panther?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Do you love yourself?
Very much.
How'd you learn how to love yourself?
A working process.
Time.
That's good. Break them down. Break them down, Mr. Breakdown.
So, as we can see, Mario remained in the pocket,
In the pocket.
answered every question effortlessly, and gave true answers. He didn't give any fluff. He was with you. You know, eye contact. He was locked in. It ain't nothing new to him. You feel me? So, hey, flying colors.
And another thing I gotta say, you're the first person where we did Rambo Random, and you gave a gem during that. He gave a gem during that. That's crazy.
What you mean by that?
You gave a gem when I asked you. What you said that working on yourself, and you actually asked that. You said a gem. You actually gave game in that. You feel me? We were playing the game, but you still was able to.
Work in progress. Are you working on yourself?
Yeah, and the way his answer, you feel me? The way you answered, you still, I could tell you were thinking. It wasn't like no bullshit answer. You feel me?
Right.
So you're on your toes. You're fast.
Yeah, well, I gotta stay. We always working on ourselves. At least for me, right? I'm stay working on myself. Just before I got here, I was at home, and I'm putting together a show in Vegas. Me and Tony. It's the Say It Loud Black History Celebration.
When is that show coming, Mario?
It's
what
coming
days?
February 27th.
Let's say they want to catch it.
February 27th in Vegas at the iFocus Media Film Studio. And I'm working with people in Vegas from the ground on up. And I got some media, Buzz Media, and they were like, well, who's all coming? You have any celebrity guests? And I was kind of figuring out, well, who'd I got? And I did get a couple of phone calls from some other celebrities. And I got a call from En Vogue, right? And they wanted Maxine from En Vogue, so she wants to come. Okay. So I was like wondering, like, how am I gonna get this to work? They want to know if I got, because I'm going in another city. Like here, I could name everybody and bring people together, but stepping into another city was kind of like a little off balance for me. But I'm trusting the process that I could take this and move it. So Maxine called on my way out the door. I was like, oh, look at God, right? And they want to come, so now I got En Vogue as my celebrity guest, and I can put those people in. Another girl from Changing Faces, she's another celebrity artist, so I can actually put them now in my media kit. And so I was excited about that coming here. Yay, right, look at God. And the people in Vegas from the ground, they want to run hard for the show. They like the packaging, and they ready to run hard and blow it up bigger than what I expected. So I was expecting just a little crowd, but now it seems like it's going to get bigger and bigger, right?
What's up? Random. What is your most proudest moment, Mario?
One of my most proudest moments is when I was able to, as a kid, I wanted to always be a part of the Ebony Fashion Fair. Because that was the first show that I seen with Blackness, and today I'm running the show. Right today, the models from the Ebony Fashion Fair is part of Mario B. I'm running it. I'm putting it together. We've got tour. We've been on tour, and the checks are good. The money's good, and it has manifest.
Amen.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Right.
So right now we're going to do a full circle. So I know earlier you talked about that you've been in prison before, you feel me, and that you help people get out of that vicious cycle.
Right.
So I have a question: how did you get yourself out of the vicious cycle, and then how do you help other people get out of the vicious cycle?
Well, one of the things for me, on my last, as they call, joke in prison or during the prison term, I there was a spirit that came over me and said that this is no place for me to shine. That this place is no place for me to shine. And I got a piece of paper and a pen, and I start writing out my blueprint on what I was going to do when I got out. I start writing a journal of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get flyers, I'm going to get a place, I'm going to get some models, I'm going to get this. I put a plan together, and when I came home, I haven't deviated from that plan, and it's been 20 years now. Right? I'm still on that same path that I made that commitment, but I was in that cell, and I made that commitment. I haven't looked back. Wow. And I still today follow that same blueprint. And I say to people, and even clients of people, that you have to stick to what your belief is. Right? You don't deviate from that. Every day you have to have a consistent program. You know, if it's get up, I go to the mailbox, I make my coffee, I go to work, I do that. You know, you have to have that consistent program that you can do every day so you could be able to survive out here, especially coming from those places. A lot of people didn't have that structure. And you kind of have to build that structure and put your own program and be there and show up for your own self. So that method always worked for me, and I still follow that method today. And even in jail, there's guidelines. Right. There's guidelines in jail, like you don't go over there with the Latinos. You don't go over here with the red folks is. You know, everybody's kind of segregated, and you don't go and steal from people. You know, there's rules in there, and the same rules that goes in there, you apply them out here. You see what I'm saying?
Fire.
Right.
He said a lot of gyms in there, people.
Yeah, so you just turn the game around a little bit.
That's right.
But the same rules apply.
That's what's up. So, Random, one thing I noticed about Mario immediately. Actually, no, fuck it. We're going to go to the first time we're going to skip that part. We're going to come back to that. I'm going to ask my original question. So, Random, one thing I've noticed. Hey, we get real on the Random show, you feel me? But one thing I noticed about Mario is every time I've been around you, you get so much love. Everybody's happy to see you. It's like, oh, Mario, and it's not even like if you've seen like Will Smith or Lil Wayne somewhere, you could see them having a bunch of people like him, but just because of the cloud, like some of that probably ain't real. But when I'm around you, Mario, and there's people that I haven't met, but I know you, they come up to you and they love you, like they're happy to see you, like you got true, genuine. I don't want to call them fans because they're not just fans, but that is the thing. You feel me? So, why do you think that is?
Because I'm the real one. I'm the truth.
Hey, for sure.
Because I'm the real one. I'm the truth, right?
And you know what?
And I'm a down to earth real person. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
Like I don't get caught up in all of what I do and how I do it. You know what I mean? I enjoy people, and like I say, you know, I'm a real one, so we could talk and have fun, and we can kick in, and we could do whatever we could talk about. You know, I'm a real one. Yeah.
And that's one thing I definitely have seen from you, regardless of who you were talking to. You were always very genuine with that person, and that conversation was always just for them. Right. It didn't matter if it was 30 people around you. If that one person came up, you had that. You gave them your full attention, and you gave them that focus. And I remember sitting back at your birthday party. Mario B had a pool party. It was definitely lit. I remember sitting at the pool party. I'm like, damn, like, even though he's got so much attention coming around, he gives everybody their own attention and their own light, and you let him shine. And I'm just like, damn, like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if I told you that night, but I want to be like that one day, for sure.
Yeah, well, you know, it just comes with relationship building. You know what I mean? And like, you just a person. You know, it's good. I don't know. Like I said, it must be a gift. You know, and not only that, when you're doing the work of His work, you know, which is to share and to care about other people, to have love in your heart, to care, right? And I don't know fake shit, right? But really care about people and care about life, you know what I mean? Then it just shows up like that, you know what I mean? When you really care, right, about people, right? And people can feel when it's real, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's just me, that's just me, you know?
Yo, I believe it, and I gotta say something else on what Jay was talking about, because our guest Savannah, I know she models for you. That's her name, right? Savannah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Savannah on the show, and then when we brought up you, we asked a question about you. She lit up. She was like, she's like, you can tell that people love you.
Right.
And she didn't say nothing bad about working with you. She's saying, I love Mario. I love work. Like, she loves you so much. So shout out to you, Savannah.
I love Savannah too. I really love Savannah too. The most that I liked about Savannah is that she's humbling, right? And she pays attention, and she does what she's supposed to do. Right, and she takes this modeling by storm. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about Savannah and a lot of girls, right? That I've worked with. I've worked with models all over, from the Virgin Islands, from Chicago, Dallas, New York. I've been on tour like 2 or 3 times, and on the tour we would go from city to city, and I meet these. Come in and it's like 20 models, and I work with them and spend a couple of days. So I met models from Miami, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So random. I feel like, and I'm sure it's at least a couple of our viewers that are gonna have this thoughts. While you saying that, right? I'm like, okay, he's traveling. Like, there had to have been some bad women going through, all these tours and all these different places. So what is your advice to the straight man who wants to get in the industry, but we know that they can't bring all that chasing women to the environment?
Right.
What is your advice to that individual?
Well, I believe everything has a place, right? And if you sign up for this particular project, then this is what you sign up for, right? Of course, you're going to be working around a lot of beautiful women, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a hound because you're around these certain women. So it's also about you having your own integrity and your own self-dignity and your own self-respect in place, right? And that's hard for a lot of men that comes into this industry. They start seeing these girls and they lose sense of sight of what this is really about or what their own purpose is there for, right? And so if you signed up for this and you want to be a model, then you need to be focused on your own self, right? And it's so easy to get distracted, right? It's so easy for a lot of males to get distracted and they forget about themselves. The next thing they focusing on that, composed to focusing on how can I get my job? How can I get my own bank account? How can I get my own place? How do I get my own car? How do I take full control of my own life, right?
So, random, do you feel like a relationship is always a distraction?
I feel like relationships can be distraction. In order for me to be in a relationship with somebody, I got to be in a relationship with myself. You understand? I got to have that relationship because other than that, what am I bringing to the table? Right? What am I bringing to the table? Because like I say, it's easy for me to look at you and what all your character defects is and how come you ain't doing this and why she ain't got them, why you ain't got that when I don't have my shit together. Right? So if I want to be in a relationship, I want to come wholeheartedly, and I expect for that other person to come wholeheartedly. So then we got something, right? Yeah, okay. So that's me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was fire. I'm hearing you. That's perfect. So, random. I'm about to say something, then Jay got up. I hella forgot. I don't know why. I'm about to say, okay, yo, this is what I'm about to say. So, random. I know you worked with a lot of celebrities, right? So, I have a question. Have you ever got starstruck working with a celebrity?
Yeah, I have before.
Which celebrity got you starstruck?
One of my ones that got me starstruck was Connie Ledisi, right? Which I've done shows with her before, but she blew up to be a big star. And I was doing the jazz festival in San Jose, and I was styling Jaguar Wright, and Jaguar Wright is another celebrity artist that did Songs Cry with Jay-Z.
Oh, okay.
And she's on that. She's the one singing the backup with Jay-Z, and we're really good friends. And she's a great artist, and she had a show in San Jose. And she called me, come down, Mario, I'm doing the show. I need you to style me, come down. Wow. And I come to the show, and she's like, me, Ledisi, and Alita Adams. And then she said, come on. And so when I got there, and I was in the room, And the letter C walks right in and put her phone down right next to me. And she right here. And we say, hey. And it just felt really good. But that we right here, I was expecting to maybe see her backstage or something like that. But I didn't think I was going to be in the whole rehearsal and everything.
Really kicking it with her.
Of that whole part. So it kind of threw me off, and I was really excited. She was one of the main ones.
Okay. Random. What is your advice to the young ladies out there that want to get into the fashion industry, but they're too shy to get started?
So too shy to get started?
So they're let's say they're watching the show and they hear that inner voice. They're like, man, I've always known I wanted to be a model. They're listening to you, and you've inspired them with your story. What is your advice to them to help them kind of give them that last little foot in the butt to get them going?
Well, I think I would say to you guys, just for the viewers or whatever, just step out there on faith. Don't be afraid. Just step out there and how can I say this? And again, trust the process, right? Step out there. Don't be afraid. It's a big world out there, but someday you got to step off into it and go for what you want to go for. For me as a teacher, I love when new models come in because by the end of the time that we work together, it's going to be a complete turnaround, right? So I love those people when they first come in. They shy, and I train them how to walk, teach them how to walk, teach them how to talk, and teach them how to pose and all that stuff. And then you create a chameleon at the end, right? It's like a diamond in the rough. And then they be the most blossoming, beautiful things. But that's what it's about, right? Modeling is not always just about looking beautiful on the outside. It's also about, again, the self-development and being beautiful on the inside.
You know what? And working with you and selecting the models for the show we did, or the show you did that I was a part of, the one thing I did notice is the women that came off the most beautiful weren't necessarily the most beautiful, but the ones that had the most confidence. They walked with confidence. Mm-hmm. I could feel their energy. Mm-hmm. So I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, of course, huh? I'm the truth. Of course you've been agree.
No,
I'm just teasing. I like teasing, man. I like messing with Mario.
It's okay.
Hey, so random. Let's talk about how do you deal with a model that's difficult? Have you ever had to deal with?
I've dealt with a lot of models that were difficult. When I first started in my career of learning how to model, I worked at Youth Uprising. And at Youth Uprising, there were a lot of girls from East Oakland that was high risk, some foster care, some brother just got shot yesterday. It was right there in the heart of East Oakland. And a lot of these girls would come through the door with all these big attitudes and different attitudes. And, they had been dramatized and they were dealing with a lot. But as I started training and teaching them, because I could meet you where you at, you understand that sometimes we would have those hard knock days and it'd get real up in there. You understand? And they'll run out of class and then come back and be, Mario, I'm sorry. And, I really like modeling. Well, you can't come here if you can't act a certain way. And this is what it takes. So we would have those come to Jesus type conversations. And then they'll come back around. But a lot of them, I try to prepare them for the real industry, right? So if you really want to model, and you may just be having fun or whatever, but there's standards in the real industry. And I try to create that platform for young people of African Americans to learn this, because nobody's going to teach you this, right? People's not going to stop and say, oh, you have to be like this, you have to be like that. So I try to gear people up for what it takes to really be in the real industry, right? If you really want to go far in the industry, right? Because it's non-tolerance. If you really want to be a model, I'm just a modeling teacher, a modeling coach. I kind of help people get started. I've had a school where I taught models. I just love being able to give back to young people, and like I say, gear them up for the real industry. Okay, so when you walk in the door, your confidence level is high. When you go to these agencies, you got to be prepared for rejection. right? Because you can look good, you can walk good, and you can walk into those agencies and they'll tell you, oh, come back, we don't think you're ready, or you're not what we're looking for. We already have a girl. So how do you process that rejection? What do you do with that rejection, right? How do you go into there even as an African American and you see a Caucasian girl come in, they automatically pick her over you, right? Or take the dress from you and give it to
Right. How do you
a
deal with
Caucasian girl. And how do you deal with that rejection, right? And so I've taught workshops about that because a lot of girls, they need to know how to deal with
How to
that.
deal with
Because
that.
I've had where it's broke people. You know, they think they had it. They went to these agencies. They really had it. They got turned down. They ran off because they didn't want to deal with that rejection, right? So, I say to people when this stuff happens, that means that God is preparing you for something else. Because sometimes when one door closes, another one opens, right? But you got to take that and still be humble when
get
that
to that
happens,
door.
right? Because you may not just be ready at that particular time. You think that you're ready, but you're probably really not ready. And a lot of times they don't be ready. Because modeling is just not about you on the runway. It's also about your home life. It's about how you live. How are you a runway off the model? How you off the runway? How do you carry yourself off the runway? What type of people you hang out with? You know, all that stuff plays a big part, right? As a model, it's not because I'm good on the runway, but I'm ratchet when I come off the set. You see what I'm saying? So all that stuff has to kind of coincide.
That's what's up.
It's all important.
Okay.
Okay.
Random. What was one of your
I'm saying.
favorite? Not favorite. What was one of your funniest childhood memories, Dev?
That's what you
Okay,
asked Mario.
okay,
Oh, my funniest childhood memory. Damn, you trying to make me go back in time. Damn, that's a good one. Well, since I got to take a little second to buffer up, Mario, what's your one of your best childhood, funniest childhood memories? One of your funniest childhood memories.
One of my funniest childhood memories. I remember when I was away and I was taking swimming lessons, and you know how everybody in the pool be splashing you, and the whole pool was like splashing me. And I remember when they finished splashing me, I grabbed the first person that that I seen, and I wore his ass
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Right.
That is a funny memory. I was about to say something else. All right. Well, my funniest memory is gonna be one of my funniest. I was like, it felt like it was. You going back in your head?
That's what's up.
He's he still remembering the times back in the day.
Hey, if you that person that Mario grabbed out that pool, man, come on, we got a seat for you on the random show.
Hey, yo, you know it's funny. So I'm not gonna say my funny memory. I'm gonna say something that's connected with his pool story. So I have a pool story myself. I was like in the 6th grade, right? And I was swimming, and next thing you know, I'm underwater. Then I felt somebody like I couldn't get up. Somebody had their hand on my head, was like trying to drown me. So I'm a brother. I really couldn't swim like that. So I'm thinking like I am not gonna fight in this water. But watching me get in that locker room. As soon as we got that locker room, I started throwing that nigga around. Hey, you know what's funny? Next thing you know, a few days later, you over trying to be my friend. I got Pokemon cards. Get the fuck out of here. What's one of your funniest memories, bro?
Man, one of my funniest memories. Man, what was we doing, man? I don't know why we was so damn adventurous, but it was me, Vontae, and Drew. We was walking through the arbors. Anybody from North Sac, you know the arbors. We was walking through the arbors, and we was out adventuring, just being some kids. You feel me? And we was walking on this path, right? And it was a tree off in the distance because it was like wintertime, so it was all wet and shit. And my boy Drew was like, "Oh man, it's dry over there." Pointing at this tree way over there, right? So we like, all right. So he started going to this tree, right? As he going to the tree, like he kind of like jogging, like trying to pick his steps, right? He gets over there, and his foot sucks in the mud. So then he like, oh shit, and pulls out his foot and his Jordan flies off, you feel me? Then his other Jordan flies off and he out there bruh, he out there, I don't know, looking like Chicken George or something, like damn near tap dancing in the mud, trying not to, like, bruh, it was too funny, man. So that one ain't happened to me, but I had something that happened to me. But that's the one that came to mind because I could still see him basically, dancing through that mud, and it was too funny, man. We came back to the house. And he was like, oh, man, you got some soap or something? They still tease me about this. I think I just put some soap out in the garage and just went upstairs and played a video game. And he's out there trying to clean his Jordans because it was his big cousin's Jordans. So it was a funny story, man.
Right.
So I have a question for you, Mario Random.
Okay.
So you seem like somebody that knows herself. You feel like you know yourself?
Yeah.
So at what age did you learn how to hold up, rewind, my fault, yo. At what age did you learn yourself? 'Cause I know a lot of people out there don't, like, I feel like the problem with society is a lot of people don't know who they are.
Right.
They're over here living somebody else's dream, living somebody else's life. They need to take some time away and learn who they are.
Right.
So what age or during what time did you start to really learn who you are?
When I was like 13.
It happened young.
When I was 13, I was like 13. But when I was 13, I had ran away from home. And when I ran away from home, I ran out to the streets of San Francisco. And it was the fast life and things were happening really fast. And I knew that I didn't want to be at home. I knew that I didn't want to be around, kids that were in school, right? Because I felt indifferent. I felt inadequate because I was gay. Right, and growing up then when you were gay was very taboo. You know what I mean? Like
it's not like what it is today.
No. My father and them didn't want me. People didn't want you around. You couldn't ride the bus. I couldn't go to school with other kids because the kids would make fun of you. So when I ran away down in Tenderloin, there was a whole bunch of other runaways, and there were a lot of young gay people like myself. And it was like paradise, right? There was people that looked like me. We were all from Chicago, New York, Dallas. It was all a bunch of runaways, but they were all gay and youth and transgender youth. And we were all young, gay, and it was like a world within itself.
Yeah, kind of all going through that kind of.
We all was going through the same stuff.
That's what's up. That's beautiful.
And so I found a whole world of people like me, and that's when I felt like, wow, I finally got a place where I could be myself, and I could be who all I wanted to be, and I could let it all out if I wanted to wear this today, if I wanted to dress up like this, or whatever. I could express myself, and I found people in a world that was just like me.
That's what's up. That's a beautiful thing because I feel like a lot of what I took from that story, and this maybe might resonate with a viewer, maybe not, but he decided to, from the environment that he was in, he decided to leave that environment and go somewhere else. And I ain't gonna lie, when you said, "Oh, I ran away at 13," I'm like, like this might not be a good story. Like I got a little worried,
Right.
But it turned out to be a beautiful thing. You feel me? So sometimes don't be afraid to leave that environment that you're in. First of all, I'm not telling no kids to run away from home.
Right.
Hey, that ain't what I'm here saying. You feel me? It worked out for Mario.
Right.
But that ain't what Jay on Random telling you to do.
Right.
But for the adults out there, the people who are 18 or older, sometimes you got to step out of your environment. If you feel like that you can't be yourself where you're at, go somewhere else. Because there might be a reason why you're called, why you had that pull. Why you feel like, did you feel like someone was pulling you to leave?
Oh, yeah. No, there was just circumstances and situation was changing. Like I say, growing up in the 70s, it was not acceptable. You see what I'm saying? It was not acceptable. So it was, like I say, very taboo. And if you was gay and your family and everybody, it was like something was really, really wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, when I ran away and I found a world with people that was just like me, and we all were runaways, and we all was like in the same boat, and there were agencies that would help pay our rent every day.
Oh, wow.
And we would all lived in this big hotel, and the agencies would pay our rent because we were all young runaways. And so it was a good place.
That's what's up.
It was a good place.
That's dope. So right now, random appreciation right now, and I feel like a lot of, especially like in our culture, a lot of people give them flowers when somebody passed away, and don't get them flowers when somebody's here. And right now, I know this is my first time meeting you, Mario, but honestly, I gotta shake your hand again.
Thank you.
I really do appreciate you. You
Thank
really
you,
like motivate me, inspiring to hear somebody like I feel like you're very like fear. I know like people have fear, but you're fearless. Like, and at a young age, you already showed that you had that faith, that leap of faith to do something like that at 13 years old. You feel me? And a lot of people don't know what you go through. You feel me? Especially somebody, if you want to say gay or somebody we don't know what y'all went through, especially back in the day. In the 70s,
Exactly.
You got to be a fearless person and still living your truth and know thyself. You feel me? I can see why you're a legend. Why you fucking shit up right now? Real shit. You're a strong person. I appreciate
thank
you
you,
again.
thank you.
Round of applause for Mario, for real.
Thank you.
There's not a lot of people strong like that, and the fact that you're strong and you're over here helping uplift other people too, though. You feel me? You don't forget where you came from. You're like, I'm gonna go back and help people that are in the penitentiary. I'm gonna go back and help people that scared them out. I'm gonna go back and help. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna give game to the youth. I'm gonna give games. Like, yo, you didn't even have to come right here and do this podcast with us. I appreciate you because you giving me game and gems. Seeing you, what you manifested, hearing your story. It's like, yo, okay, Mario, dope.
And I don't even think we scratched the surface.
No, we really didn't scratch the surface. But I just want to say that God is good, right? God is good. And they say all the time, right? And we all have a story, right? And we all been through something, right? It's just how you deal with it, right? Because none of us born with a silver spoon in our mouth. And it's just about how we deal with things and how we allow things to deal with us.
That part.
Right? Yeah, because sometimes life lessons is not a life sentence.
Ooh.
Right?
Can you say that again, Mario?
Life lessons is not a life sentence. You know what I mean? Because we've been through some stuff don't mean we got to carry
For
that
your
all
whole
the rest
life.
of your life.
Right.
And
you
sometimes
can let it go.
we be like O.J. Simpson didn't know how to let go.
Damn. Yo. Yo. Hey, that's facts though. Because sometimes a lot of us do carry these things. We do carry these things and we don't know how to put them down. Yeah. That's real talk. So it's about that. But before we get to that, just one thing I want to say on the first. I think it might have been the first episode I came on Random Conversations before I got the honor of being a co-host. Thank you, 3D Dev. I think he asked something. You came up, and I don't remember what it was. I think it was trying new things or something like that. And I told him, hey, I met Mario. I decided to do some modeling. I'm not really the model type, but I wanted to kind of network and get into the fashion industry somehow, some way. And it's just crazy. So for people out there who are thinking about modeling or getting in or trying anything new, I want to encourage you to do that. When I met Mario, I was scared. I didn't want to model. Man. I'm like, because there's a stigma. I don't want to be looked at as gay and all these different things. And let me give you a roses too. Because I'm like, I don't know Mario. I met him one time. I know he's in fashion. I know his preference. It's no big deal. I don't judge, but I'm like, I wasn't sure how he was going to treat me in that environment, being somebody straight. And Mario, the way that you treated me and how straight you were and how you said the things that you thought I might have been scared to bring up, and you had the conversation damn near for me. Like, yo, that is when I knew we was going to be friends forever. You feel me? Because what he said something along the lines of, hey, I don't believe in dressing men up like women. I believe there should be masculinity. Right. Like, I'm not here to do that to you. Right. And I didn't even say nothing. This was just what I was thinking. Right. And he was so upfront about it. I couldn't do nothing but respect the hell out of you. Yeah. And from that moment, I knew we was going to be tight. Yeah. So me personally, I'm not a model. I don't want to really. I mean, maybe in the future, I ain't gonna rule it out. Right. But right now, I don't really want to be on the face. You know what I mean? I don't want to. That's not where I'm at right now. But still, look, I'm sitting here on this podcast and hearing your feedback, hearing Dev's feedback. I'm like, damn, all this started because I was open to trying something new. Right. And look what has come from that. Now we close. Now I get to be a part of the shows, and I've got a great friend now. I've got a true friend now, I consider. Right. And it's just amazing, what kind of things will come out of trying something new. So for people out there, if you got something you want to try, do it. You might not end up doing what that thing is, but you're gonna end up on something positive. That's for sure. Right.
Right. Yo, so Random Mario, if your life was a movie, what would the name be, and what's the reason why?
My movie would be I Stole the Show.
Okay, I stole the show.
Well, that's a book also that I want to do. Is that
Okay.
I Stole the Show.
Mm.
Why you name it that?
Because of the struggles that I've been through, the struggles that I've been through, and still be able to come out on top, right? And still be a survivor, and still be here, and still in the race. Okay, still in the
Yeah,
race.
you doing your thing. I respect that.
Yeah.
So, and I have another question for you, random. If you could talk to anybody that passed away, it can be a celebrity or anybody. Who would you talk to, and why would you talk to that person?
I would like to talk to my mother, right? And why? Because my mother passed away, and I was incarcerated. Now, I was out, but I was out there in the mix, and I just never really got a chance to have the relationship that I should have had or would have liked to have with my mother because I was running the streets. And so I never really got to, and because I've been successful, my mother's birthday, February 28th, and every year I have the show in honor of my mother, right?
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's the 70s fashion show, and it takes me back to when we were in the 70s. And also my sister, who passed away at 21, from 13 years old. She was a prostitute on the streets, and a pimp had got her, and she was on the streets. And when she was 21, she died. And so she was my favorite sister. And so every year I do this show for my mother and my sister. And it's called Say It Loud, right? And it's the 70s fashion show. And so I would love to talk to them, my mother and my sister, to be exact. Right.
That's beautiful. Yo, say it loud. Yo, say it loud. That's beautiful. I'm like, it hit my soul. I'm over here to know what to talk about. But yo, okay.
Yeah.
This was another fire episode, man. I appreciate you, Mario, for coming on the show. I've gained a lot from this, a lot of motivation. And I just love the fact that, you know, before we end this, I got to talk about something. I love the fact where when you're in prison, you talk about writing down your plans and you sticking to it. Because I'm someone that does that. I write down my manifestations and stuff be coming to life. So to the viewers out there, get that pen and write down in that notepad, because I really put that down in cement. You mean not down in cement, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. It really certifies you. It really certifies it. You feel me? Because you can do it on your phone, but it's something different about taking that pen out and writing that down on that paper and really visualizing and seeing that shit. And after that, it comes to action and the steps, and just allow the greatness to happen. You feel me?
Right.
So, Mario, do you have anything else you want to say to the viewers before we leave?
Well, I just want to say dreams come true. Stay true to yourself. Follow your dreams. You know, it's one day at a time. You know, one day at a time. Line yourself up with people that genuinely care about you for real and put them first, right? Because sometimes we have a tendency of putting our fake friends and frenemies first before we put our own family. You know, like I said, even for my mom, I was running the streets and not really putting my family first. And today I put my family first. And I put just genuine people first in my life. And when you become successful, your circle gets smaller. It doesn't get wider. Right, so the phrase is, it is a little lonely at the top, right? But it feels good, right? Because then you're only dealing with a few good men, right, and a few good people on your team. And you can count 5 or 6 good people that's in your corner, right?
That's real, yeah, that's right.
And you can be in their corners, genuine relationships.
Right. That's real. Do you have any social medias where they can reach you out at?
You can hit me up on Instagram. Mario B Pro, Mario B Pro, PRO, yeah, on Instagram.
And your Raw Talks, that's only on Facebook? Is it on Instagram?
Well, it was actually live meetings. You know, we would do live group circles, but since the pandemic, we kind of slowed down, and then I was looking for a home that I can actually start it up and with people that wants to come out and talk about. I did online too. I tried doing it online. But you get the full effect when we can get together and have a real sit-down group setting, because things that's said in the meeting stay in the meeting, right? So you go to Vegas to stay in Vegas kind of thing, you know what I mean? So we like to keep it in the closed environments.
I understand. What's up, Jay? You got something you want to say to people before we close it out?
Man, no, not really. You know what? What I will say, what 3D said about writing things down, I would just stamp that again. Definitely go do that. You know, because paper comes from trees, and trees were once alive. So when you write your dreams down on paper, it's how you bring them to life. So I would definitely say, you know, apply that as something I'm gonna be applying and try things new. You know, me trying something new. Like I said, now I'm here with the Mario B.
Man.
So we got much more greatness in store. We're gonna see y'all in Vegas.
Man, yeah, Vegas coming soon, February 27th.
Hey,
Thank you guys on Random. Great show. I enjoy being here, and thank you for having me as a guest.
Hey, thank you. And y'all already know my slogan. I love you, but you need to love yourself, man. And what I keep saying, it's all about
That's
growth.
true.
So stay evolving. Yee.
All right. Thank you.
Let's go. Okay, Mario. That's what's up.